Howdy people, welcome back. I'm Nat at Mud Magic. Thank you for joining me again. So Trace has asked me to show her how to do an enclosed pot. So I thought, well, I'll just take a video if it works, because this is only my third attempt at an enclosed pot. So if it works, it'll go on YouTube. So if you're watching this, I guess it's at least kind of worked. So this is one that I did yesterday. Oh, well, it's been a process over a few days. So it's it's only just like not even leather hard. It's still quite soft. So I did an enclosed pot, covered it in the two blues and the teal underglaze, and then when it was an enclosed pot like that, so I enclosed up the top, and then I carved the lines in it, and then I carved through here until it was nearly through, and then at the top of the carving I got a needle tool and cut through. So he's in Lynn does a video on how to do all that, all the trimming and everything, and then that comes off, and then you really trim that out and trim a bit out of the lid as well, so that then the lid will fit on and over and you've got a little pot. So it's an easy way. And then if you want to, you can do a bobble to go on the lid, but I don't, you can fit your hand over that one, so it doesn't need it, I don't think. So I'll just put it back up there to dry, and then I'll just clear glaze that and you'll see that come through one of my kilns. So this is, I'm going to sort of try and do a similar, I don't care what shape it is, but a similar kind of thing, but obviously I'm not going to do the trimming in this video. So Trace just wanted to see how to close the top in. So about 1.5 kilos of clay, I think. I've already centered it. So I'm just going to go for it and hope for the best, basically, which is all I ever do with my videos for you guys. So yes, I should say Trace is here. Say hello, Trace.
Hello.
Hello, Trace. So we just did a shaving cream fun, which I'm going to put that, I haven't yet, but I'm sure it's up before I put this one up, of the shaving cream technique and how you do that. So I love doing that. It's so easy and it's so much fun. So we did a video on the whole technique and it took 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So you can see how easy it is to do. Nice simple thing to do. So all you're just going to do is the same easy basic cylinder. Choose yourself if you want to put a foot on it later or whatever, how much room you leave in the bottom, and press the base. And the good thing with the shaving cream technique, Trace didn't like the colours in the end that she had originally chosen, and because you do it on bisqueware, she washed the whole lot off and started again with new colours. I'm just going to colour that in a bit, so you kind of, to get your walls a bit more sort of centered and even, you just collar up initially, so you're not really pulling it up, you're just collaring it, compressing, just sort of getting a feel for it, seeing if you like it, if it's gonna behave. I don't know, I never know. Now our end goal, so you've got to think about this right from the start. The end goal is we want to enclose the top. So we always want to be pulling in, because the less that you have to collar in at the end, the better. So I'm just going to pull up towards the middle, so that we're getting a real volcano kind of shape. You can always keep collaring it in if you don't get that shape, that's fine. Maybe you'll just squeeze the bottom in and up again. Get some more of that clay from the bottom to come up to the top. And the other thing I saw that He's in Lynn said is, if you put an indent, you know how like you put your indent on the outside like that, if you put one on the inside and kind of pull the clay up as well, which I might do this time because you know I've always got them heavy at the bottom, so you're kind of pulling it from both sides, pulling up a big bunch of clay up to the top. Try and get it not too heavy at the bottom, because I'm determined that this is not going to be a vase, because that would be a very strange vase if it's an enclosed vase. So if it ends up being a vase, I failed. But I might still still put it up and call it vase instead of enclosed pot. Who knows? So we're still going for that inward to the top, like that. Feel my walls. Then grab the clay from the bottom again. So then if you want to do that for the one that I just showed you, you don't want your walls too thin, because when you cut through and you do that like sort of built-in gallery kind of a thing, you want to have the thickness in your walls to be able to then trim them down in the lid and the wall so that they both fit over each other. So it's okay for once to have thick walls. So yay for me, because that's just, apparently that's my thing, thick walls. I need some water on that. Okay, so if you end up with a wobbly rim as well with this, it doesn't matter, because you can close it over anyway. So you don't even have to chop off the top, because you're going to enclose them together anyway. So who cares? Nobody will know. Why waste the clay and the height when you're going to do that anyway? Okay, I don't know how we're going. Maybe more, you know. It's always that last one more, and yeah, I've just got to wobble. So this is obviously a lot taller than the other one that I showed you. A lot more height to it. That's all right. It'll just be for a different purpose. And then we'll get my beautiful sponge on a stick that you all know I love. So I've got a fair bit of water in there now. So with your adding and subtracting water, you never want to leave water sitting in there. But if you're pulling up, you know, reasonably quickly, you don't have to keep removing it and adding it, because it's not going to sit in there for very long. So with the one that I did before that I showed you, that was really like straight. So it was like it goes out and then straight walls and then in for the lid, which I quite like that shape. But I might belly this one. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know what it wants to be. I'm a bit confused because it's not something I do a lot of. So I don't really know, but there's still a lot of clay down the bottom. So the big thing with these is you cannot leave even a skerrick of water in the bottom, because you can't get in there. So you've enclosed it, so you can't get in there to get it out. So you can't leave any water in them before you close it up. So you just have to be careful not to, so I might just run the rib over, not to leave any water in, because you'll get your S-cracks and the water will just eat away at your clay while it's drying. So when you're closing it over, you've got to try and do it a bit drier than you would normally. So yeah, we might do a bit of a more cookie jar kind of shape. Is that a cookie jar shape when you're belly? I don't know. She's nodding at me, so I guess. Alright. Well, let's try and belly it. You know, I do like bellying. I belly most of my things, so why not? And then obviously, because you're going to bring the top in, you really don't want to, you got to stop yourself near the top. And again, I love having my camera there with you guys, because I can see the shape from both sides and see how I'm going. And then I want to think about what part of the lid I'm going to cut off, as well as to where you want to finish your bellying for your lid. Too much thought process. which is why a lot of my pottery doesn't end up being what it's meant to be, because I just think, oh, I can't think about it, I'll just do whatever. Then I end up with these weird things. Rightio, what do we think? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She spoke, she has words. We've had a big day of pottery, lots of glazing, lots of shaving cream fun.
2 days.
2 days, yes. Next weekend we're off to Nowra on a girly weekend, just the two of us, for my birthday. It's my birthday on Friday.
21 years.
And some months. All right, let's do one of the whole purpose. Oh, it's very dry now. You can't do this if it's dry. You need it to slip and slide. So I didn't get any water in doing that. That's lucky. So all you do, collar it in. Ooh, and it's actually quite thick still, the walls, but that's fine. I'd rather thick than thin. And again, with this, slow and steady wins the race. There is no rush. I might just, there's hardly any water in there, but I'm just going to be fussy. A little drop of water in there. There's no point in risking it like that. And the good thing with this as well is I might try a little bit of a difference here too, which I haven't done before, so I'm a bit scared, is that I've got quite a bit of clay here, so I can, as long as I don't get too much water inside, I can try and pull a little knob for the lid. So then I don't have to worry about attaching a lid later. So when you start collaring in like that, you think, oh, it's going all wonky wobbly, but actually when you get your fingers coming together, it's not. So I'm going to try and pull this out because I've got quite a lot of clay in there. Pull it up a bit thinner, but also so I can get a built-in little knobble. Hope I'm not being too adventurous here, because so far, touch wood, it's behaving. Has my shape. Looks like an egg. So you can you see from there the top?
Yeah.
So then, because this is the hardest part. So then what you can do, because obviously that's quite wobbly, if you care, you can just cut off just the tiniest of bits off, just to make it a bit nicer when it comes together. Well, that was big. You mean to do that? I didn't know that was going to happen. I like it. And have a nice nobble on him if we go from there. And this is where when I showed that bud vase in my last kiln unload, and you get this and you've got to go faster, because see how that's got a bit of a swirl in it. If you go faster, that doesn't happen. And then I've just run my finger over, and guess what, the top's sealed. So that is done. And that can be his handle as well. How cool is that? I don't have to do a handle. I love that. So what you can do then too, if you want, you could actually put an intentional swirl in it if you wanted. I feel like I'm going to hurt him in a minute, so maybe I won't. But that's, you can push it down. See, I can't, because I only just enclosed the top over, I can't cut off any of that because that'll be hollow. Well, I could and then close it again, I guess, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm not that confident. So now, because this is hollow, it's actually quite stable. So now you can, because it's hollow, because it's enclosed, it's got all air trapped in there, so the air gives it stability. So you can actually really like rib it, and if you could feel it, it feels like a really hard blown up balloon. Like it's really kind of like taut in a way, quite strong feeling. It's not pushing in or wobbling at all. So you can really fix everything up now and get all your slip off and everything. And then when you chop the lid off, you can have a look in here and see if this looks really thin where you've closed it over. You can get a bit of wet clay and just smudge it in there just to give it a bit more stability. Now, the last little tip, because this is full of air now, when it shrinks, the air has nowhere to go. So the air will go where there is the least resistance. So the air will smash out the top here because that's your thin part. So what you need to do is you need to think about where you're going to put where you're going to cut off your lid, which I don't know with this actually. I'm not sure of how I'm going to do it. But you need to sort of think about maybe about here where your lid's going to come off and put a hole, because then so you push your needle tool right through and pull it just a little bit and kind of cut a hole. So that's your escape valve for your air now. And then that's where you'll get your tool. I use this little tool. And then you hold it there and you cut, and then you use your needle tool and cut through, and you've got your flange. I'm not sure if I'll do the same with this lid because it's a different shape to that, but I'll decide when I get there. But yeah, that's how you do your lid at, your enclosed pots. And then I'll just show, because I have left a lot of clay down the bottom here, so we can get rid of all that to give it a nicer shape. It's amazing how when you get that skirt or whatever you want to call it off, how much prettier the shape looks at the bottom. And then I can even trim more of that when I have a good look at it. And then I just get my needle tool and go around, get it off, and then go back to this one and scrape off the last of the remaining clay. And then I scrape just the edge bit just to give my wire somewhere to sit. Get your wire it off, and leave it to dry. So hey presto, it worked. It's going on YouTube. Yay! Trace, hope you learned something. Hope you like that.
Awesome.
You can obviously play with the shape. It'll be really interesting to see how that becomes a lid, because I will still proceed with getting that to a lid, or try to. So again, you'll see this come through my kiln unload. Whether it comes through and it's completely different, we will see how it survives. So thank you very much again for watching. Stay muddy and have a magic day. Bye.